Hello all. Yes, I'm here to make a presentation on mitigation of post-harvest loss and food waste for enhanced nutrition and food security. Now I'm presenting on behalf of everybody on this team, and my name is T Anyasi. I'm from Agricultural Research Council, Tropical and Subtropical Crops, NSW. Post-harvest loss and food waste. We will begin by explaining what each term means. What is post-harvest loss and what is food waste? Now, post-harvest loss is a decrease in quantity. Take note of that term. Decrease in quantity and quality of food resulting from decisions and actions of food suppliers in the food chain. Take note of that also. Food suppliers in the food chain. And this consists basically of the farmers. Food suppliers in the food chain. So for post-harvest loss, we are talking about loss as a result of operations that take place in the farm. Now that means post-harvest food loss exclude losses from retailers, food service providers, and consumers. So we'll talk more of this in the next slide. So food is lost in many ways in post-harvest loss during harvesting and also during what we call sorting operations in the farm when harvested produce are sorted or more or less selected according to their shape, according to their size, and according to their color. And so crops that do not meet the standards required for the market are often discarded during these sorting operations in the farm. And this is what leads to post-harvest loss. Now let's talk about food waste. Now, what is food waste? Now, food waste on its own is decrease in quantity and quality of food resulting from decisions and actions by retailers, food service providers, and consumers. I hope you now note the difference. For post-harvest food loss, it takes place on the farm and is as a result of losses in farm operations and by farmers. But for food waste, we are talking about retailers, we're talking about food service providers, and we are talking about consumers, you and I, wasting food. Now, there is a term that we call best before date, and food that has this term many times are often discarded by retailers and consumers. And what we see is that many household kitchens and large establishments often throw away food because of this date, best before date. We will talk more about the difference of this best before date and its relationship to food waste in the next slide. And so the reduction of food loss is included in the United Nations Sustainable Goals. In SDG 12, it is one of the points and the agenda for the SDG 2030. A reduction in food loss and waste will improve sustainability of fresh food, will increase the size and quantity of global food supply, will lead to more efficient land use and better water resource as our country is water scarce, and it will positively impact on climate change and livelihoods. Now, there's this confusion by consumers regarding the relationship between food safety and food date labels. This has often led to food waste. It was what we highlighted in the points that that we spoke about before this particular point. And so in Europe, perishable foods are often discarded after the use by date, and these foods are deemed to be unsafe, and so they are prohibited for marketing. However, the best before label does not talk about safety but talks about quality. But there is a confusion here of consumers thinking that best before talks about safety. No, best before talks about quality, the quality of the food. And so many people, because of that, thinking best before talks about safety, discard food with the best before label. Best before talks about the quality of the food. After the best before date, the quality of that food reduces. It means the nutrient in that food reduces. It does not imply the food is no longer safe. The food is still safe, but you will not get the best of nutrients from that food, and so the food can still be consumed. However, this is not what we get. Consumers often think that the best before date means the food is no longer suitable for consumption, and so they discard it, and this has resulted in a lot of food waste, especially from homes and in big corporations, grocery shops, and kitchens. Now, how do we ensure that post-harvest food loss and wastage is mitigated? One of the means of doing this is through agro-processing. And agro-processing involves the steps that are required for preserving and converting raw harvested food materials to finished products. These steps include drying, include freezing, include pulping, include extrusion, include canning, include bottling, include packaging, and several others. At ARC-TSC, we conduct various post-harvest processing, various post-harvest handling and processing activities. And this is just a chart on some of the fruits we handle at ARC-TSC: mango, pineapple, banana, lychee, and many other fruits are what we handle at the ARC, and we process them using all of these stages, and when they are ready we store them until the retailers come around to purchase them, or the consumers come and request for these foods. Now let's give an example of harvesting and sorting process of a fruit in one of the ARC farms. Now this is what happens. A banana is harvested from a banana farm in one of the ARC farms, and then it is transported. It is transported to the packing house. A packing house, that is a location in the farm where all harvested produce are gathered. You see, they are now gathered and they are sorted. I will then show us a video of this banana, being yes, sorted. All right, thank you for the short video. And so after the sorting operation, the bananas are then packed into different grades and sizes, waiting for shipping and waiting for purchasing. Now, we also conduct processing so that we're able to convert this harvested produce into nutritious food that we ensure that you and I enjoy what we eat. Now we can see these are some of the crops at the ARC which are harvested, and this is some of the processing activities going on. These are some of the mechanized equipment used for pulping and for extraction of juice. Now, also, it therefore means that processing requires, a combined knowledge of subjects such as mathematics, the physical and biological sciences. They are required for processing activities because we make use of some technological equipment, to produce some final goods such as the jam and soap. So for the university admission requirements, you will require, a degree in some of these programs for you to be able to continue to join us in addressing this issue of post-harvest loss and food waste, because the career opportunities are so much. You can work as an agri-business owner, a large-scale farmer, a quality assurance personnel, a food safety personnel, a food marketing and procurement person. You can also be a food product development, opening your own chains of food and processed products. Thank you very much for listening.